what is econometrics? Econometrics is nothing but measurement. What kind of measurement? Economic measurement. We are very careful. We are very careful in the sense we people are very anxious towards number. For example, what will be tomorrow? Or let's say, for example, what will be Adani's stock price, tomorrow's Adani stock prices, or let's say what will be the movement of Modi government, or let's say what government will do for tomorrow, or lots of things. So how we can know without measurement? So we have to do some kind of measurement. So without measurement, we cannot do any kind of conclusions. For example, let's say we are going to study about a very linear model. Let's say any linear model. For example, your regressions model. Okay. Let's say your regressions model is your y d is equal to alpha plus beta of xt. Okay. This is general model. What is how to read? Y is, let's say, dependent variable. Are you with me, right? You can stop me anyway. Y is a dependent variable, and that dependent variable depends on time. Time is very important. Time is very important in the sense, let's say, for example, we people, as we are from, let's say, faculty sides, we are very much careful towards, let's say, what government will do for, let's say, about the RDA, daily allowances. Let's say government is going to implement, let's say, 4% DA. So we are generally calculating. That doesn't mean that means that measurement. You are doing measurement. You are doing some kind of calculations. Okay. So that's meaning that your variable, any variable which is a dependent variable, that depends on time. Okay. Everything is depending on time. Okay. And your model is, let's say, alpha. Alpha is nothing but your intercept coefficient. Intercept coefficient. Okay. Where it starts. Okay, if you draw from, let's say, here graphically, your x-axis, let's say, is time, and y-axis, let's say, your variable, and where it starts. Let's say it starts from here. So maybe the alpha coefficient is here, from where it starts in the Lee-Menber perspective. Alpha is your intercept coefficient, and beta is nothing but your slope coefficient. Okay, slope. And beta is a depending, or the coefficient is coming from the variable that is xt. X is also an independent variable, one variable. Independent variable, and that also depending on time. And by using your yt and xt, you are framing a model so that you can able to forecast what will be tomorrow. Isn't it? What will be, let's say, the data period, you have data period, let's say 1970 to 2022, what it will be, or 2023, what it will be, that variables, that is your dependent variable for 2024. Okay. So you are fitting a model, or that is called as a, let's say, a general regressions model. Regressions model. In regression model, what you are doing, you are just measuring. So in general, what is econometrics? Econometrics is nothing but economic measurement. You are measuring something so that you can do some kind of conclusions or some kind of policy. Okay. So generally the regression model, main purpose of regression model is first purpose is testing the theory. Testing. And next purpose is forecasting. Okay. So the whole fundamental of regressions model is to test the theory, whether the theory is validating or not, and forecasting. It's only two purposes. Very simple. Very, very simple. What is the purpose of regression model? If you can ask, if anybody asks you, then you can tell that, okay, the purpose is testing any theory and forecasting. Predicting. So that means that it is measurement. So econometrics means economic measurement.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, I can understand how for forecasting we can use linear regression, but for testing means how can you give you example, please?
Very nice.
I can understand forecasting. Yes.
Fine. Fine. Testing of theories. Okay. Testing of theory in the sense you must know what is the difference between theoretical study and empirical studies. Okay. Theory in the sense theory cannot be not a single theory in 2023 also not a single theory is wrong, because a theory is developed because of long period of observations. Let's for example law of demand. For your understanding, very basic example I am taking law of demand. What is the law of demand? Law of demand is telling that quantity demand is a function of price. Okay. And the law is telling when the price is rise, then quantity demand will fall in the case of normal goods. So that there is having negative relationship between P and QD. So theory is very important. Without theory, you cannot able to forecast. Okay. So empirical means you are just testing just by obtaining some data and you are testing. And that is called empirical research or empirical study. For example, many theories are having hypothesis. Hypothesis in the sense the law of demand. These are having exceptions of the law of demand. For example, we know that we have studied in plus 10 exceptions. Law of demand is your given good or inferior good. In the case of inferior good, the law of demand will not hold goods. How they know? They have tested. They have obtained the data and tested that okay, this theory is not fulfilling. So that is the difference. Theory, not a single theory is wrong. And you cannot frame, let's say for example, this the beginning where we have started, I have framed it these equations. You cannot make these equations without theory. There must be some theory. Any theory. That's the reason you have to be very smart. Very, very smart. So this theory or these equations came from this functional form. Let's say the functions maybe yt is a functions of xt. Then only I can establish this theory or these equations. And the theory, if the theory is telling that okay, this is a negative relationship, then I have to frame my equations in the beginning. Then after that I'll check alpha minus beta of xt. Okay. Still, this I can tell that over the time we are going to study, I'll prove that this equation is wrong. So that's the reason I am just telling you, be with me and be attentive, so that we are going to learn lots of things, lots and lots of things, which will be helpful for your future, something like that. So econometrics, as somehow you understood that econometrics is nothing but it's concerned with the empirical determinations of economic laws. Without laws, the econometrics, the useful of econometrics is, I can tell that is nothing. Without theory, econometrics is nothing. So theory is very important. So after that, okay, next we'll talk about what are the steps of econometrics methodology you need to follow. So as you rightly said that, see what is the meaning of theory, and I hope you understood that what is theory. The first steps of conducting any kind of empirical research, doesn't mean that only economics or finance, any kind of research or any kind of framework we are going to do. First steps you need to follow, that is statement of theory or hypothesis. Okay. Then only you can able to establish certain kind of relationships. Okay. For example, consumptions and income. Income. I would like to refer the Keynesian consumption functions. Keynes has developed the theory like psychological law of consumptions. Okay. So what this theory is telling, consumptions is a functions of income. Or I can tell that your consumptions is depending on time and your income is also depending on time, because income is changing over the time. Once your income is changing, for example, let's say your DA will increase 4%, then definitely your income will rise. Let's say 4 to 5,000 or something like 10,000, isn't it? So let's say when your income rises, okay, definitely your consumptions will rise, but less than proportionately. That is the law. Okay. From that law, the concept that is marginal propensity to consume comes, and the marginal propensity to consume will vary in between 0 to 1. Okay, MPC will vary in between 0 to 1. Okay, and it is a very important concept. Such a developing country like us, okay, our MPC is quite high. That is marginal propensity to consumption is high. If let's say I bring my function like that, where I brought this one from Keynesian's theory. So this is a relationship. Consumption is a function of income. So how I can make the equations like CT is equal to alpha plus beta of your YT. Are you getting me? Okay.
Yes.
Isn't it? What is alpha? Alpha is nothing but even if your income is 0, how you can interpret? Interpretation is very important. Even if your income is 0, you need to consume.
Autonomous consumption.
Autonomous consumptions. Okay, that is the intercept. In mathematics, it is called as intercept coefficient. And in economics, it is autonomous consumptions. You need to consume something. Okay. And what is beta? What is beta? Income, you know. What is beta? Can you tell?
Slow. Beta slow.
The rate at which the change is going to happen.
MPC.
Marginal propensity to consume.
Very nice. This is marginal propensity to consume. How we can write? Del
Del C by del Y.
Del Y.
Right? Del C by. That means how I can read how your income is affecting to your consumptions, right?
Fine.
How change of your income affect the change of the consumptions.
Yes. Yes.
So let's say SBI has forecasted, or SBI or State Bank of India has done it some kind of study, and he told that okay, our India's marginal propensity to consume is 0.73. We can refer. Okay. Very simple concept, but is a statement of problem. Okay. Meaning, what does it mean? It means 0.27 left for saving. That is called as MPS, marginal propensity to save. The point here is that how we come. This is very important concept. Okay, this is the important values. 0.73. Then only we can conclude. That means the saving is left for us. That is 0.27. Meaning our income, majority of our income is spent towards the consumption side. So our development is a consumption driven. Okay. Our development or India is developing through consumptions. Okay. So if we can refer practically, many consumptions industry in our country, many consumptions industries are there, like health, it is a consumption. Education is a consumption, but it is a qualitative consumption. And we're least bother about these qualitative consumptions. Okay. Like health. Particularly in Odisha, as I am from Odisha, definitely my example will come from Odisha. Although I am working at BITS Pilani campus at Pilani, but I know, as I am from Odisha, definitely, let's say, education is very poor education, or health, very poor health. See, this is a qualitative concept. Qualitative concept in the sense, in 2023, still we are talking about quantities. The political speech is coming, okay, India is growing at 7 or 8%. What kind of development, what kind of education you are providing, what kind of health you are providing. Anyway, that's a different aspect. So my point here is that this number that I told you in the first line, measurement, how I can come this number is point of concern. So I can do through a linear model or linear regressions model. So theory is very important. I cannot establish this functional form without theory. Theory is very important. Very, very important. First steps of conducting any kind of research, bring theory. Then only we can establish the functional form of that. Then this functional form will tell you the equations, and these equations will tell you, okay, next step. What is the next step? As I told you, first steps you need to follow, that is theory. Next steps, mathematical model. The mathematics will come from theory. Don't worry about mathematics. Mathematics, like, it makes our life easy. many people worry about, oh, mathematics is very difficult. We'll not talk about rocket science mathematics. That rocket science mathematics can be difficult, but we will not use that rocket science mathematics. We talk about very simple mathematics like functions, equations. It's very simple. It is used in our daily life. Okay. Next is specifications of the mathematical model of the theory, the way we have done it. Okay. From these functions, how these functions came? These functions came from theory. Okay. And I made the equational form. That is alpha plus beta of y. How I got plus I got from theory. Meaning 1% increase of your income leads to how much changes of your consumptions. That you only tell that, okay, MPC, this is the coefficient of beta, and this coefficient will tell you mass and propensity to consume, and this coefficient will tell you del C by del Y. I just used in a different way. Meaning is same. So this is nothing but a mathematical model of that theory. This is the next stage. Third stage, specifications of the statistical or econometric model. Okay, we economics are very smart actually. Very, very smart. Okay, how is smart? Let's look into that. Look. So this is a mathematical model. Okay, this is the functions. Okay. So your functional form is depending, I mean, this value is depending on this linear regressions line. So it is very difficult. Your conjugation, if you think practically, this conjugation is not a function of y. Not only a functions of y. There are other factors which is also applicable. For example, your test. Let's say I am from Odisha. My test will be, let's say I like fish. Okay, let's say Rajasthan people will not like fish. They will not eat. They are vegetarians. Okay, even if they have, some income, they will not spend some portions of income towards fish. They don't like. So test is also determining your consumption pattern. For example, right now the summer season is going on. Still in Rajasthan, we not that much, so that we can use a fan of AC. Not required. Maybe in Odisha, humidity is at quite more. Definitely use either fan or AC. So right now you are most probably consuming your AC or something like that. So geographical reason, that I can tell that geographical reasons also determine your consumptions. It's very difficult. My point is that it is very, very difficult to represent in a functional form. Let's say engineers. Engineers are very, let's say this pen. They know that what are the required things to make this pen. Some kind of plastic, or this portions of plastic, or this much portions of rubber, this much of ink, this much, something like that. They know that. So they can do some kind of functional form. But for us, it's very difficult to represent exact functional form. If you're not able to represent an exact functional form, then you will not get this best coefficient of this beta. Okay. So what to do? In order to get this functional form, either we have two options. Either we can maximize these functions. Okay, then only you can get this best or robust point of this intercept coefficient or slope coefficient. And I told you this is very difficult to represent in a functional form. What to do? We can minimize the error. Minimize the error. So my equational form now will represent Ct is equal to alpha plus beta of yt plus epsilon t. What is epsilon t? Error. What is it? Random walk or error term or disturbance term or white noise, meaning at same. Okay. So I'll minimize this error. I will minimize in order to get the best coefficient. I am best. I mean, we economics are very smart. That's the reason I told you we smart, because we need the best point. We need the best alpha and the best alpha beta coefficient. Okay. So my entire model is depending on this error. And I need to, my job is to minimize this error. Then only I'll get the best coefficient, intercept as well as slope coefficient. So that model is no more called as a mathematical model. This model, whatever I have added here, that is error term, is no more called as a mathematical model. It's the extensions of mathematical model, and exactly it is called as a econometric model. Are you getting it? So far, any questions? So far, any questions?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
Is it audible?
Yes, perfectly.
That error term, how can we say stochastic storm?
Okay. Stochastic means a probabilities, right? Error is nothing but the difference between actual values minus your estimated values. Generally, estimated values written. This is called as a end. Okay. And error, it can be positive, it can be negative, it can be positive. Let's say this is the line you have fitted. Okay, this is the best line. Okay, and this error, you do not know how they'll move. You do not know. It's entirely stochastic values. These are probability values. Why? For example, this model, these conjunctions, you like, let's say, fish. Tomorrow, your health conditions is quite, your stomach got affected. Definitely, you not like non-vegetarian or fish. You'll avoid it. You not know also what kind of things will happen to you. Are you getting me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting.
Absolutely fine, right? So it can behave anything. Any movement can happen, either positive side or negative side. Fine. So error is nothing but the difference between the actual values. What is the actual values and your estimated values? That represent you the error.
Okay,
Now,
excellent. Thank you, sir.
now this model is no more called as a mathematical model, and it is called as an econometric model. And my job is to minimize this error so that I can get my best fitted line. We will get best, I used best fitted line so that I can able to forecast for future. As I told you, why we are using the equations line or this line, because to test the theory and forecasting the dependent variables. This is the third steps for conducting any kind of research or any kind of econometric methodology. Then third and fourth important steps. You can stop me anywhere. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Is it visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have studied about this one. Next step is very important. Obtaining the data. Okay, can you tell me what is data? You are using it very much.
Data can be collection of facts.
Please, one point, sir. Please share this PPT after the class is over.
Sure.
Thank you.
Obtaining the data. What is the data? The data is nothing but somebody told that it's a fact.
Collection of facts.
Collections of facts. Set of facts.
Numerical statements of facts.
Numerical statement of facts. Okay. It's facts, or you can use informations. Informations.
Collection of information.
Collections of informations. For example, if I write 5, I don't think so there is value. There is meaning. If I use 5 apple, now the value come or the information. In what is the information? 5 is important or apple is important? Both are important. More important is apple. Okay. So now the fourth steps of conducting any kind of research is data. Data can be, primary data or secondary secondary data. It depends on your research. If you are doing some kind of primary survey or primary data, fine. If you are using secondary data, that is also okay. So obtaining data is very important because data is your input. Data is your input. So you have to be very extra careful, I can tell you. You need to be some kind of extra careful on data because we are providing some input. Look how we pull up if in the sense in the way that I can tell that in the sense if your input is incorrect, definitely your result will be incorrect. That is the MCQ. Okay. So you need to be very extra careful on your data, and data is nothing but information, and it can be primary data or secondary data. Next step, once you have obtained the data, next step is definitely compile of the data, and you need to be very careful on compiling of the data. Next step is estimation of the parameter of econometric model. Once you have collected the data, any kind of data, next job of yours is to parameter in the sense this parameter. I don't know where it went. Anyway, this parameter in the sense we told that this one. This parameter, these are the parameters. Okay, intercept coefficient and slope coefficient. Your next job is to get this parameter. How you have done this parameter? Through minimizations of the error. So you have minimized this error. Now your model will be called as a CT hat. Okay, CT hat is nothing but you have estimated the model. Now alpha hat plus beta hat of xt. Now no more ET because you have done your estimations through minimizations of this error. So now this estimated of the econometric model will be no more your error. So this will be your estimate coefficient or intercept coefficient, and this will be your estimated slope coefficient. Here exactly your MPC, marginal progression. Okay, this is the next steps. Next is hypothesis testing. Next step is to test the hypothesis. You can use some distributions like D distributions, Z distributions, chi-square distributions in order to test hypothesis in the sense there will be generally two types of hypothesis, that is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Okay. And you know the distributions also somehow. If your calculated values is greater than your critical values or tabulated values at certain percentage of significance level, then you can able to reject the null hypothesis. And you can accept the null hypothesis if the calculated value is less than the critical values or tabulated values at certain level of significance. Whether it is a can you tell me what kind of level of significance you are using? Anyone? This is a simple one.
0.5, 0.1.
0.5, 0.1. Anything else? Okay, it is a 5% and 1%. Okay. Many researchers are using 10%. 10% is in 2023 will not accept this 10% error. 10% is meaning at 90% you are confident about your result. 10% error can happen or can come. Okay, in 2023 we are not accepting 10% significance level. That's the reason I told you must be careful. Careful in the sense we are accepting either 5% level of significance or 95% confidence level or 1% of level of significance. That is 99% confidence level. at least 1% error we can माफी. जैसे कि 7 गुण माफी, यहाँ पे 7 गुण माफी नहीं होता, 1 गुण माफी. I'm just joking. So that it will be in somehow to get traffic. So how for this testing. Zero test, but you have obtained the thought. Next step is forecasting. Once you have fitted the best line, okay, once you have fitted the best line, next job is to forecast or predictions. Then you'll predictions for the future. For example, if your data period, as I told you, T is nothing but a time period. Yeah. Let's say you have done some time series data from 1970 to 2023. Okay, then you can forecast 2024. If you are quite smart, if you are quite, I am talking about very smart. I like smart work. Okay, and I used to teach to our students only smart things. Okay, if you are smart, okay, what I'll do in that case, let's say I'll not take 2023. I'll take 1970 to 2020. I'll frame the model. I'll fit it the best line. Okay, I have the data for 23, but I'll not used. So whatever the result I got, okay, so I'll forecast for 2023. If my forecasted value is accurate or somehow approaching towards the accurate level, then I can tell, okay, my model is best. Are you getting me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right.
Yes, sir, we are very much. Sir, this is basically what we are very much applying for demand forecasting and all those areas also, no?
All forecasting. If the model is linear one, if your data is behaving linear, that is the conditions. Let's say, for example, if you are dealing with stock market data, which is high frequency data, so this linear model will not help you. And this is the basic. Okay. And this is the basic. Are you getting me? For
So
example,
in that scenario, what exactly we need to do if we want to predict stock market, sir?
okay, stock market predictions is something different. In that case, non-linear model generally used. Right now, we are using LSTM model. If you are quite good, then you can use it. Long short-term memory model,
Oh, fine, sir.
or something like HSG transformations, Hilbert-Wang transformations. People are using wavelet. That is something different. That is something different.
Fine.
Why I'm telling you that the conditions is linear? Because linear focus, this whatever things we are going to study today class or today lecture is linear model. Okay. Fine, that is something out of talk. इसको pause मार दो अभी. और इसी अगर ये नहीं होगा तो ये नहीं होगा, कभी भी नहीं होगा, जिंदगी में भी नहीं होगा. LSTM मॉडल कभी तक नहीं पहुंच पाओगे अगर इसको समझ नहीं है. That is damn sure. Okay. So this is a linear model, very linear model. Okay. And next stage, once you have tested the hypothesis with certain level of significance, then you can forecast it. Okay. Can you tell me after forecast what you do? Anyone? What will be the next step?
Estimation.
No, estimation. Yeah,
Decisions. Decisions.
Very
We'll take some decisions.
Very. What's your name?
Ramalingeshwar Sharma.
Very good. Okay. Decisions. Okay. Using the model for control or policy purposes. You will decide. Think like you are a businessman. Think like you are a policymaker.
Sir, is there any degree of freedom here?
Where we need to degree of freedom? Here we'll need 2 degrees of freedom. Hypothesis testing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Here you will take degrees of freedom. Then once everything is good, then forecast. Once forecast, then policies, decisions. This is very important.
Like demand forecasting, like that.
Yes, please.
like we forecast the demand, and based on it we adjust the operations in the organizations.
What does it mean?
Means we have forecasted the demand in the first step, like, right?
If we want to launch a new product, we first forecast the demand and then accordingly we will plan our production. And
Yes,
this is-
for example, this
this is the
MPC,
decision.
this
This
MPC,
is the
let's say
decision.
you got MPCs is 0.73. Government will do. Government knows that okay, only 0.27 left for saving, and we know that saving is equal to investment. Okay, less is available for us or for our country cases. So what to do? Government definitely will think about, in order to achieve high rate of economic growth, government will think about borrowing, external borrowing cases or external debt cases. Okay, they can do like that. Think big. बड़ा सोचो, हमेशा बड़ा सोचना चाहिए. Every time you have to think big. Okay. So policies. What kind of policies? Okay. So this is the final steps. Policy purposes. We need to frame some kind of policies or decisions. What to do? What kind of steps I have to take? Okay. So that is the importance of conducting any kind of research, or in general. In general, these are the general cases. Sense.
So we can say, like, suppose if demand forecasting we have done, we can use it for production policy of the firm.
Yes, production is the policy of the firm. Absolutely fine. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So productions, in the sense how productions would be something different. Productions from the theory productions, let's say output. Okay, output. Let's say I write Q. Our productions of, let's say, what productions? Which productions?
Production of automobiles.
Productions of automobiles.
Yes.
Okay, that will vary definitely with respect to time. Okay, definitely productions I can make. Productions output. You cannot make any kind of output without using some kind of input. You input, let's say, labor, your capital, your raw materials. Okay, raw materials of automobiles. How much capital is used in order to produce this automobile, because automobile is a capital intensive unit. That doesn't mean that labor is not required. Definitely labor is required. But how much?
From demand forecasting, we can take a decision about the probable output which we plan to produce. Then the production decision comes from the technology and the available resources.
Yes.
That is a different. That is the theory of production. And for
Yes,
demand
for
forecasting,
interruption.
it is the consumption. From theory of consumption, we take the idea of how much to produce.
Madam, sorry for interruption. Madam, in demand forecasting, demand is the mother of production or basis of production. On the basis of demand, every productions are going in. Until unless no the demand
I am
forecasting.
saying, I want to say that.
Yes, demand is the mother of production.
Yes, absolutely fine. We are talking about very general cases. You are absolutely fine, absolutely correct. My point is that, okay, fine, LK or that is raw material, that is innovations, that is absolutely the technological progress. Let's say this much input is required to produce some kind of output of automobiles. Okay, what you need to do, you need to that's the theory. Okay, theory part is over. Now you just made it. You have done some functional form of this output. You have done it. Then you just add the error here. This part is over. Then you collect the data. Okay, data of automobile. Okay, output of automobile, because this is a dependent variable. The labor, how much labor this automobile sector has used to produce 1 unit or 2 unit of automobiles. LK, how much raw materials in terms of money, let's say. How much money is spent towards labor? How much money is spent towards, let's say, how much capital money, capital, how much capital is used in terms of rupees? How much raw material is used in terms of rupees? How much technological progress, or how much money that automobile sector spent towards technological progress? Then you collect that data. Okay. Then estimate this parameter. Minimize this error, estimate the parameter. Then test the hypothesis. What are things you have found or find. Then focus, then policies. What to do of that moment or the moment. That is the whole story of this methodology. Okay, is that clear all of you? Right? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir.
Fine. Next is, as I told you, your input is very important. Your input is very, very important. So far, in any kind of empirical model or empirical things, your input here is taken. So it is very essential to know what are the nature and sources of data. In general cases, there are 4 types of data are there. The data can be time series. Okay. The data can be time series. The data can be cross-sectional. The data can be pooled, and the data can be dynamic. Okay. These are the 4 types of data available. Then, what is time series? Time series is nothing but collected at different point of time. Collected at different point of time is called as a time series data. For example, your GDP. Okay, GDP of India, gross domestic product of India. Okay, so if it's collected at different time, let's say time, okay, and your variable GDP, time, let's say 1960, the GDP is something in rupees, wrote down. You must be very careful in every bit. What kind of GDP you are taking, whether GDP at constant price or current price. If it is current price, then it will be called as a nominal GDP. If it is constant price, then it will be called as a real price. So what type of price you are considering in your research, so that you can take some kind of policies. Because our aim is to take some kind of decisions, and we agree with from the last or previous meetings. So what type of data? Because this is your main inputs. 1960 to, let's say, 2021. So if that means different, as I told times is collected, set of information is collected at different point of time is called as time series data. What is information here? GDP at constant price, which is in rupees in crore term. With same base year. That is very important. Base year, same base year. Same base year. It must be same base year. So 60 में GDP इतना था, 61 GDP up to 2021. So it is different point of time. Okay. And these all are informations. Okay. Informations. Such kind of data is called as time series data. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Cross-sectionals. Cross-sectionals is nothing but different variables collected at same point of time, only same point of time. Different variable. Let's say generally the general example is census data. It's called as a cross-section. Why? Let's say in 2011 the census what India in census happened in 2011, 2021 supposed to happen, but so far it did not happen. In 2011, government collected age, family members, educations. So different variables. These are the variables. Then gender. Within gender, let's say male, female. How many old persons are living in your families? These are the household data, right? So,
Sir, excuse me. Like I'm confused between something like in case of nature of data, we take as quantitative data or qualitative data, sources of data as primary or secondary. But this is on what basis we have classified as these 4?
Yes, absolutely. It can be time series data, can be qualitative or quantitative.
Okay.
The sources of the data, can be, source is very important. Source in the sense whether you have collected the data from RB website or any authentic like Bloomberg or CMI or CIC or EPWRF or India Stand, lots of data sources, authentic data sources, and the government of India survey. These are the types generally. You are absolutely correct. I must write it as types of data. Then after that, nature and sources of data. So nature can be your monthly data, it can be the time series data, or the time series monthly or quarterly or annually or bi-monthly or bi-weekly or daily or minutes by minute. Are you getting me?
Sir, yes, absolutely. Understood.
So cross-sectional data is nothing but collected, different variables collected at the same point of time, one point of time. That is called as a cross-sectional data. Pooled data. Once you have understood the cross-sectional data, pooled data is very easy. Pooled data is nothing but combinations of both time series and cross-sectional. That is called as a pooled data. Panel data is nothing but a special kind of pooled data. What does it mean by special kind of panel data in pooled data? Let's say, for example, you are going or conducting a research on banking sector. Let's say banking sector. Okay. There are different banks. Let's say public sector banks, private banks, and foreign banks. Within public sector banks, lots of banks are there. Okay, let's say your study is based on public sector banks. All you have done it. Let's say you have time and bank specific or individual specific, like banking data is here, bank, and the variables like they are risk, okay, risk, capital. This data is there, and you are going to show the relationship between risk and capital. Okay, let's say time in between 1995 to 2021. Some public sector bank, let's say SBI data, and corresponding to that time, risk, how much risk are there, and it is a definitely a measured variable. Let's assume that we have measured it, capital, and definitely this is a, let's say, for one bank, SBI, and same time period 95 to 2021 for, let's say, Canara Bank, okay, and some data, or same 95 to 2021 for, let's say, Punjab National Banks, data period, risk and capital. Okay, so these are the panel. And in panel data, there is general two types of data is there. It can be balanced panel data or unbalanced panel data. Sometimes some Canara, let's say Punjab National Bank is not having, let's say, 2021 data. You can also ignore. And that type of data structure is called as a unbalanced panel structure. An unbalanced panel data. Are you getting me? All are with me, right? So you have understood that different types of data, and nature is nothing but whether it is.
Please repeat panel data once more.
Yes, please.
Panel data.
Panel data, fine.
So pooled data also again you repeat, so please.
Pooled data, fine. So pooled data. Pooled data, as I told you, combinations of time series and cross sectionals. Let's say you have collected same point of time. Cross section is nothing but different variables collected at same point of time. Let's say this is time, and this is variable of y, x1, x2, and x3. Okay. If I have collected, let's say 1990, my variable is 2, 1. Randomly, I'm just picking 91, 4, 5, 6, 7, 92, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 93, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So it is a combinations of both time series. It varies on time series, right? Set of informations collect at different point of time and different variables at a time at a single point of time. And these different variables y, x1, x2, x3. Are you getting it?
Yeah, I got it, sir. I got it.
So now parallel. Okay. If it is a let's say one bank or one country like India, this is a India data, or just like that India. If you have collected for let's Pakistan, okay, Pakistan for same period 1990, 91, 92, 93, some data point here for Pakistan. Also, we have collected for China, and we have branded 92, 93, some data point like that. So such kind of data is called as a balance panel data. Because all data is available. For example, let's say Pakistan ka 92 ka data missing hai. Okay, that doesn't mean that we'll stop the study. Let it be there. So it will be called as a unbalanced. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so these are
And if it is missing, then it is called as
unbalanced. Balance means unbalanced.
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 Balanced.
Unbalanced. Balance nahi hai.
Okay. Balanced. Okay.
Fine. Fine. Now we'll talk about some kind of this is interesting one that is called as a arima process. Before coming to arima process, we must know something very basic concept. Basic concept related to. So far, any doubt?
No, sir, it's going very good. We are understanding.
General laws. कुछ लॉ होता है ये हमको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. क्या लॉ है? जनरल लॉ ऑन एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यूज. Someone told that na stochastic values you can use expected values. Okay. Expected values. This law is very important. Okay. What are the laws? Expected values calculations. If first law is expectations of constant, can you tell me anyone what will be?
Zero.
What's your name?
Devjani Rai.
Okay. It is not zero. Anyone? It is constant. Okay.
Oh, sorry, sir. It is constant. Expectation is. I want to tell the long run average.
Expectations values of constant is always constant. All are
Yes. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Next.
I just made a mistake. Because expectation of x bar is equal to mu.
Correct. So expectations of constant is constant. Second law, that is expectations of x plus c. How I can write this one? C plus expectations of x. Or in other words, I can write expectations of x plus expectations of c, which is nothing but expectations of x plus c. Are you with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Third law is expectations of if it is c of x. तो मैं इसको कैसे लिख सकता हूँ? Constant को निकाल के c of expectations of x. Very simple law. बहुत simple. That's the reason I told you mathematics makes our life very easy. ठीक है? So here this law. रहेगा? रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now coming
Yes, sir.
to another law that is called as variance calculations. Variance calculation. Okay. Now, anybody can help me? Variance of constant can be. Devjani madam. what you told, that is 0. ठीक है? Are you getting me? All are with me, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So
Because constant term has no variation.
So variance of constant term is always 0.
Yes.
Second law, variance of x is a values of variable plus c. Can you tell me anyone what will be the values? What I can write? Fast. Time नहीं है. Time fast जा रहा है. साल बजे.
Variance of x, I think.
That's
That's all.
Variance
I'm
of
guessing. Variance of x.
third law, variance of c of x. Can you tell me anyone? C square. ठीक. ये लॉ हमको अभी अरीमा मॉडल में हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं. So variance of constant. So variance of x variable plus c is variance of x. और variance के साथ एक constant value variance of constant के कमी constant अगर variable के साथ multiply हो जाएगा तो constant को निकाल के उसको c square निकाल देंगे b square ऐसे c square of b. Okay. Now coming to our model. We need to go how fast, otherwise it will be difficult. Then EMA model. EMA, what is EMA? EMA is nothing but what? As I told you in the beginning. क्या बोला था मैंने? EMA? Help me. Okay. Autoregressive. Okay, autoregressive. MA model meaning moving average. Moving average. I का मतलब क्या है? Integrated. सब टर्म पता हो गया? तो क्या पढ़ूंगा मैं इसको? Anyone can help me please?
Autoregressive integrated moving average.
Yes, very nice. Autoregressive integrated moving average process. So now, if you can remember, so far I think I assume that everybody knows about linear regression model. Okay. And somehow also we have discussed from Aswaran about your model YT is equal to say CT, CT plus alpha plus beta of xt plus your error. Again, इसे बोला था ना मैंने?
Yes.
So now I told told in the beginning, nobody has asked me some questions. It will be very fast, very fast. Mind को थोड़ा fast लगाना पड़ेगा. So nobody asked me. Okay, I told you C is depending on time, and X is also depending on time, and error is depending on definitely time. And we're not going to. Lots of things are there. Lots of things are there because setting unwanted time इतना important है. इसको मैं बोलूँगा prime minister. देश का अगर politics कर रहा है तो यही prime minister. नहीं, that is different. So इसी को लेके हम लोग ये कर रहे हैं. So there are lots of regression model test theory and forecast. So if हम ऐसे your CT is equal to 0.23 plus 0.5 of xt. ठीक है कि नहीं? नंबर में मैंने डाल दिया है कि नहीं?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
ठीक है. So xt is also time and my data period is 1900 let's say 60 to 2022. क्या डेटा है? मेरे पास CT है और XT है. Some data point here, data point here, data point here, up to 2022. I told you, okay, you have tested the theory. The theory is telling that okay, there is having positive relationship. Now you tested. My second objective is to forecast. This is very important. मैं बहुत careful हूँ forecast करने के लिए ताकि मैं उसको अपना decisions ले सकूँ. तो मेरा XT इधर है. Decision में अपन मेरे को ये CT का मतलब है C2020 CT2022 जो डेटा है तो ये होगा 23 और इसको मैं अगर 2023 को अगर मैं कब कर रहा हूँ फोरकास्ट कर रहा हूँ 2023 which is equal to 0.23 plus 0.5 of xt of x 20 20 23 ठीक है कि नहीं? कैसे लिखूंगा?
Yes, sir.